Coming to you live from across America, the most dangerous people in the United States. It's the Trans Narrative Podcast.
Coming to you live from across the nation, it's the most dangerous people. It's the Trans Narrative. I like when Athena does that, but I'm not as good at that as she is. So, well, hi everyone. It's so good to have all of you here. We're gathered today on March 8th because of some things that have gone down in Memphis. And so we've gathered some of the Memphis fans to join us here on this episode. Cynthia Grace is our co-host. Ocean Kane returns as our contributing co-host. And Mar Newell returns co-host, as does Moth.
Hi.
And
hello.
Hi. And today we're joined by Ponyboy Hearing, Jenna on Fire, and Amon Pride. That's because that's the name that is on the promotional. So,
AKA Salamander.
Salamander.
First name Brandy, first name Salamander, last name Brandy.
For
Salamander,
for president of the whole damn world.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's so good to have everyone here gathered. I'm so glad to have the Memphis family together so that we can spend some time in communion and really just hearts out, because it seems to be such a just a time right now for us. Let's go around the room here and let's just briefly get to know each of us, just so that we ourselves and our audience knows who is on the show today. So let's start out with our co-host Cynthia Grace. Just briefly give us a little bit about yourself, and so our guest here can have a glimpse of your life.
All right. Well, first of all, I am a trans woman. I'm also a drag queen. I am from the Black Hills of South Dakota. And currently, right now, I actually am employed. I work the front desk at the Alex Johnson Hotel.
And Cynthia, didn't you just sit down with StoryCorps and had a fabulous interview, didn't you?
Yes, I did. On January 25th, I do not know if any of you are familiar with what StoryCorp is, but they're a group who goes around the country documenting people's stories. And what happened was on January 25th, they were out in my part of the country, and they were gathering stories about the LGBT plus community out here. And I was selected to tell them about what my experiences were like living in South Dakota as a trans woman and growing up in this area. And when I got the link to the audio link to that interview, I posted it on my Facebook page. And after this interview, I'm going to talk to you, Carolyn, and see if we can get that up on our trans narrative site as well.
Mm-hmm.
For those who want to hear it.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Cynthia, for spending time with us today. As always, you've been with us so many times on the show, so it's so good to have you. And joining us today as our contributing co-host is Ocean Kane. Ocean joined us a few weeks ago with our interview with Marla, and it just was so incredible that they joined us full time. So, Ocean, hi, it's so good to have you here with us again.
Hi, like you said, my name is Ocean. I go by she, her pronouns. I am also a trans woman. And I spend a lot of my time when I'm incapable of at least being out. I do a lot of my advocacy like on the internet, and one of those biggest things is I do a lot of debating on TikTok, debunking like misinformation and shit like that.
We applaud you and we thank you for that. Absolutely. And joining today again as our guest co-host is Mar Newell. Mar, so good to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me and my Memphis family. We all very much appreciate just having the chance to put our voice out there. And as the good Reverend Moth says, we're gonna try to be love and light out there, and we'll all preach it like we the choir.
Absolutely.
The church of the mothership, baby.
Hallelujah.
Absolutely. It's so good to have you here. And so Moth and Salamander, it's good to have you both here with us. And Jenna on Fire, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Jenna Lee Dunn, aka Jenna on Fire, on all of my social media handles. I'm currently working with an organization in Memphis called Out Memphis as the trans services specialist. I'm also a transgender woman. Currently working on making Jenna on Fire an actual brand and doing some stuff with that. And I have a lot more news that will be coming later about that I can't disclose at this moment. But a lot of exciting things are coming down the way for myself that will also be a huge benefit to the trans community as well. And also working on some things to be able to do more help for people of color that are in need of things also.
Well, I'm so grateful to have you here with us, Jenna. And Pony Boy Hang, did I say that correctly?
We can just say Pony Boy, that's fine.
Oh, sorry. Well, Pony Boy, it's so good to have you here with us today. Thanks for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So I am a drag performer here in Memphis, drag king, and Moth is actually my mama. I know.
Oh my God, I did not know that.
That cute little cowboy is my responsibility.
Country boy over here. Yeah, so you know, I just want to say real quick, seeing Moth on that video was, yes, very harrowing, but also in just talking to performers last night at the show, it was really rejuvenating to see somebody speak out and stand up, and really in so many ways just made me remember how much power we actually do have. It can feel so powerless sometimes, but we aren't powerless. We just have to remember that we have it. So anyway, side note, I'm a drag performer. I'm also a PhD student finishing up this semester down at the University of Mississippi, and we'll see what happens after that.
What are you studying?
Literature. The books.
Say that one more time.
Study. I read books. Study
Literature. They're studying literature.
Oh my God, you have a PhD in literature?
Not yet. Hopefully by the end of the semester I will, though. Dr. Ponyboy up in here.
So, where would we like to begin today, everyone? What would we like to talk about that's lighthearted, Moth? Do you have any suggestions?
I've been very sick for the past couple of days, and I'm somebody that has some sensitivity issues, and I am somewhere on the spectrum. I'm not sure where. So I'm really weird about food. If I ever become president, I fully intend, first of all, I'm going to throw all the straight people in prison. Second of all, I'm going to destroy time itself. I'm in a war against time. I'm going to outlaw time. And then I'm going to fix the world hunger crisis by outlawing food for everybody. So we're just going to cut the food out. But in this moment, I think that even though I don't have an appetite, I know that people love food. So would everybody describe to me like what would be your perfect snack right now? And it can be from anywhere, anything. That's what I want to know. I want to just like see what's in your imagination and in your appetite and your taste. Maybe can we start with salamander or ocean or mar?
Well, honestly, with my appetite right now, I'm not really full. My mom, one thing I could like say be perfect right now is something my mom used to give us when we're like really, really hungry. It's like she called it air pudding. You like open up your mouth, close it, swallow, get done.
Air pudding.
Air pudding. And like, you hungry? I'm busy right now, so eat a little air pudding. Let's keep it till I'm off work. And like, all right, mom, that'll probably be perfect right about now.
That is so funny. That's so sweet. Mar. Ocean's ready.
Sorry.
Ocean, go on.
I mean, I have my own struggles with eating a lot, but my comfort food, my go-to food, no matter how bad it is always going to be a chicken sandwich. Just real easy, real nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not spicy, not a spicy chicken sandwich.
Nothing spicy, like a garlic parmesan.
Ooh. Jenna on fire. What are you peckish for right now?
Well, you know me, because I'm worried about gaining a pound. So I'm like, I have my binge moments and then I like eat like a bird the rest of the time. But I guess
you and I are very similar in that way. Like right. when we're hungry, baby, we're hungry. But most of the time we just kind of pick around the plate.
So lately, I've been on like a pizza kick. I don't know why. Like
Mm.
I've got to get off of it because it's totally more carbs than I eat in a year. So, but it's been a lot going on, like emotionally and mentally and everything. And so, and then with being sick also, the doctor told me, like, look, be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself. Don't worry about the carbs and the scale so much right now. Like eat and drink plenty of fluids until you get better, and then you can diet or whatever. And so, my comfort food is always going to be pizza, even though it's sinful,
Dang.
carb filled passion.
That's
Caroline.
Oh, me. Well, I have a few things. So my comfort food would be like basically fast food. And then my real comfort food is fried chicken, specifically Popeyes. And then like my third favorite thing would be this Indian dish called Bangan Barda. And it's an eggplant dish that's like the most delicious thing in the world. And I like it at a level 5 because at the Indian restaurants they give you 1 to 6 for spiciness. I always go to number 5. So that is what I would love to eat right now. If I could afford Indian food, I would do it. But if I can't afford that, it's a double cheeseburger from McDonald's. Extra pickles, extra onions.
Extra pickles, extra onions.
Absolutely. And maybe extra
Okay.
ketchup too.
And extra ketchup.
Oh, yeah.
Rare sensibilities. Who else haven't we gotten to? Mara, you haven't described anything tasty yet.
Actually, I always say ladies first. So Miss Cynthia.
Cynthia, dear.
All right. Well, let's just start with the comfort food. I know this is going to sound rather interesting, but chicken nuggets. I won't lie,
Yes.
just some basic, simple chicken nuggets. Okay. I mean, to me, that is just you put them in the oven. Hey, you just sit, watch TV. You're good to go. For the other food, I would really love to have a pretzel bun, bacon wrapped bratwurst put in the middle of the pretzel bun, dump beer cheese sauce over that, and then add bacon bits.
That is intense.
I love it.
It's basically heart attack in a bun, but it's worth it.
It's worth the
In
risk.
moderation. You can have it in moderation.
Yeah, a bite at a time over a week span.
I probably just made a few of you hungry just because of what I just described.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
very
you.
hungry. Ever since Moth brought up food, I was like, shit, I haven't eaten today. Mara, what's your tasty food?
Okay. I'm gonna go with experience. And like I said last week, I was in the Army for a little while. And so the first one that I had, my first duty station was in Korea, and you definitely learn and eat a lot of different food. So my two favorite things from there is one plate, it's called bulgogi.
Okay.
And it's really good. It's just like a steak strip, and it's cooked there, and it's got a certain kind of flavor to it that's just, it's really good. It's almost like teriyaki, but not teriyaki. It's just a little different, and it's not super spicy because my body cannot do spice. And if I do, my wife and my family hates me, so we just don't go super spicy. And then of course their ramen. I was on a very small base, and we had a Korean couple that would come and cook there, and they would deliver it to our rooms because it was like half a mile, like within that area was where everybody lived. And so I would always get ramen from them, and I've never had ramen like them since, and I miss it. But another experience, this is the last one I promise, was in Germany, across the street from where we stayed, which used to be Nazi barracks. So that was real freaky. Needed a lot of sage there. But we would go across the street to a guy, he was from Turkey, and he would make the euros. And it was like this for one. And you could order a half, which I always did because I was like, that's just too much for me. But they were so good, and the euros here are good too, but there's something different about that guy, and it just, I don't know. Those are the meals that I think about when I'm like, I wish I had one of those meals right now.
Honey
You know
boy,
what's
what's
that?
your tasty food?
Look, come on, baby boy.
Clearly, fried chicken is like the official food of the LGBTQ community, because I was gonna say Popeye's fried chicken sandwich, but since that's been taken, I'm gonna say tater tots.
Oh my God, Domino's just came out with a new line of tater tots with their extra fillings and stuff. So it's like topped with all the cheese and the bacon and all that good stuff, jalapenos.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I do have a serious question. I'd like to ask Moth, okay, if animals could talk, who would be the rudest animal?
Oh, moths, because yeah, because moths. Listen, most moths metamorphosize, they lose their mouthpieces. So, like, I would be speaking to you psychically in your mind, which will make you want to die. You don't want me in your head screaming. Moths do not live very long, and they live off of stored body fat. So I'm sure that like angry leopard moths that are hangry and like trying to like get in, get the points, lay some eggs, and get out. Like, I'm sure that they would be really rude because like they have places to be. They've got 48 hours to survive and move forward. So yeah, I think moths would probably be pretty rude. I should have thrown butterflies under the bus, but butterflies are so snooty anyway.
You
Are
haven't
they?
met
I feel like they'd be so happy after they cocooned and left chrysalis.
you haven't met my cat.
They eat blood, moths.
They
They're
do.
not moths, but butterflies. They eat damn near anything.
They are carrion eaters. If you release a bunch of butterflies on a carcass, they will suck the blood out of it. Is that not so creepy?
That is the craziest thing. They're so pretty too.
And okay. So in the Mothy like lore and the Mothy character backstory, Moth is from planet Farina. But the Chiromilians are a race of like butterfly beast creatures that like to capture Pharinians and suck out our souls using their giant scary proboscis. So I personally, in all of my alternate lives, I don't trust butterflies. I never have, and I never will.
The mothership. We should go to the mothership. I want to
A fun
know.
time.
So I want to go around the room here, and I just want to ask a few of all of us actually. But I wanted to. Moth has such an incredible imagination. Does anybody have like any lore of themselves that they've created personally for themselves to help them navigate through their life? Ocean?
I do.
Yeah, I actually have something. It's a little extreme. But it is a way that I was able to kind of manage my own depression and find some and find some like power in myself. And it is that it's essentially when I talk to bigots, a lot of the time, like the way that I treat myself is I will just say like I can't die. It's impossible. I can't die. And if you prove that wrong, it won't be my problem. But since it hasn't happened, you can't prove that it can.
I like that. That reminds me of Lucy.
I like that too.
That reminds me of Lucy. What about you, Mar? Do you have any? Or no, Salamander. You were going to say something.
It's a bit of a story. I can go last.
Go right ahead. Spend it. Tell us it all in
Yeah, we're
detail.
here. We want to hear.
Well, honestly, one reincarnation is real. I remember a few past lives. I remember the first past life as well. I remember a time where everything was just pure energy, like it's just like fire, but like not like fire how we know it, but like more harmonious, more fluid that flow like water. And everything's perfect and harmonious and stuff like that. Then one day I broke free. I broke free and I just launched myself into space, and I just can change shape, form, any way how I wanted, just flying like the cosmos, like a comet. And I remember those lives and stuff like that until one day I was like caught. I crystallized. Something drew me here. I just feel like I just got hurled back to earth, hurled into the earth and stuff like that. And just heading towards the light. And I just remember different lives of uprisings and rebellions and fights and just liberation of people and stuff like that. And like every time I die, I go back to that existence and hurling through the space and cosmos and stuff like that until I'm caught again. And I feel like Yeah, I remember those lives and stuff like that. I was a sword. I was a few women. I was just women that lead rebellions and love the fucking party. And now I'm here to do the same damn thing again. And I'm ready to fight and ready to like spread love and liberation. Yeah, I came here to help teach people how to dance. But yeah, that's my little lore.
I,
Yeah.
I just thought of
My name
something.
is
What if
Amon.
I
That's
just
what I
thought we should
remember.
all I thought we should all dance on the Zoom together, all of us, just for a second, right? There's just
Okay, well, I
for a
have a
camera.
surprise then. If listen, I have a surprise for Pony Boy. Hang on.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Oh,
hold on, hold on.
What is going on? Is it a cowboy? Was it a cowboy hat?
Yes, it was a
Was it
cowboy
a
hat.
possum?
Here.
Oh, that's sweet.
Here,
oh my
Yes,
God!
a few here.
yes, bitch,
The
yes.
black one. Here, we'll go for purple. That'll be good.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes,
that's a
So
sir.
Jenna,
nice
you now
hat.
have to wear that at the riot when you introduce Ponyboy.
That's enough.
It's a
That's
show. It is a
enough.
protest-themed show that is called Riot. just so that we're super clear.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
Not an
right. You're
actual
funny.
planned
What a
riot.
I've been thinking about should we stream that live somehow, like at least a piece of it?
oh my
It's
God!
gonna
You should
be
record some
wild.
of it. We'll put it on our. Well, you can record some of it. We'll put it on the show.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be
we'll
wild.
get some
Like,
clips.
no, Moth, like you don't understand. Like we haven't talked. Like I have different people that are wanting to come now, have reached out to me. I even think like some of the Black Lives Matter movement people want to come
Good.
from what I talked to
Rock
them.
on.
And, right, decarcerate Memphis, the
I'm also
Haven
part of Black
there.
Lives Matter.
Do what?
I said I'm also a member of Black Lives Matter Memphis.
Oh,
There's
cool.
there's two of us. There's two groups of us. But
So,
yeah, I'm
so I
down.
have been talking with somebody from this organization called Food Not Bombs.
Mhm.
And they're connected somehow to decarcerate Memphis and Black Lives Matters. And so I like made these connections through them. And so I've invited them all to come to the show and have a table. The Haven's gonna have a table there. Memphis will have a table, and we'll be doing
Good.
HIV testing. Moth, there's somebody that reached out to me that does like they make patches and stuff for like vests and things, and they want to contribute their sales to the drag protect the drag thing that you have. And so I invited them to come table also. So it's really turning into like it's a big show now.
Really excited. Really quick. Salamander and Moth. Do I have permission to upload those clips from the news onto the YouTube portion of our show today, just so that our
Yes, those are out in the public.
Sure.
Those are out in the public.
Okay.
Sorry,
I just wanted to
y'all.
make
Everybody
sure.
in the world is calling me.
Sure, it's okay with me. Hey, I was wondering if I could ask Jenna, like, is it okay if my other organization join in too, DSA? Because we're more than happy to like support as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, sweet.
And this is how Memphis does it. We all connect, we all know someone, and we all talk, and we all come together for the common good in our city. Everybody sees Memphis and goes, oh my God, people get murdered there. That's only a small part of us. And it just is what it is here.
Like
But the
people
rest of us are all about love and light and keeping it just 100% with each other. And this is what Memphis is. That's why when people ask me, what's Memphis? I say it is the people right here.
I love that. Actually, how did all of you meet, Miles? How did you meet all these wonderful folks?
It's all
Well,
Jenna's
I'm a
fault.
cult leader, and all of these people are obsessive stalkers who have been following me for over a year now. And I just decided, they just wore me down, so I just decided to just make them part of the circle. I just let myself be taken by the wave. No, I'm kidding. Listen, Jenna is one of my best friends in the entire world, and she's somebody that, is a battery of energy and positivity for the community. I met Mar through Jenna. Salamander and I have known each other for a long time now and been friends, and Sal has really, really scooped me out of some hard, very stressful places, as she's done with so many people all across Memphis. Pony Boy and I have known each other a really, really long time. We're old friends. and being my drag child is new as of this past year and a half, couple years. And I'm just so proud that my friend has found so much light and legacy and creativity, and he just grows and grows and grows. And then to the rest of you, I don't particularly know you, but I do now, and I like you.
Are you talking about me, Moth?
Except for Caroline. Caroline checks in on me and makes sure that I'm okay, alive, and I really appreciate it.
The second I saw you online on Wednesday, I called you right away. Like the second you were online, I knew you were on your phone. So
thank you, babe. Thank you for just looking out for me. And I think that took care of everybody. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. But we're all connected through just, we're known through our works. We're all hard workers. We're all very connected to lots of different silos in the community. And, part of it is so joyful because we all work beautifully together, and we do such great things in the city of Memphis. I wish that the state of Tennessee could take pride in us. If only I could lift the veil of hatred away from everybody's eyes. I think that they would be so impressed with everything that our community does in this state.
absolutely. I wanted to, Mar, we had a conversation a few weeks ago about a film that I happen to love and you loved. I think we had, yeah, okay, you remember? I think it'd be fun
Hannah.
if, yes, if I think that, I don't know about you, but before I started my transition, I had no clue who I was. So I tried to find it in every outlet that I possibly could. And for some reason, it seemed that Disney films had a good way of telling the hero's journey. And a few films, specifically in the last 10 years, yes, 10 years, have been really influential actually in my journey to self-discovery, such as Frozen and Moana. And Mara and I actually had a whole conversation about Moana and broke down like the entire gist of the film and related it to the trans journey. So I thought it'd be neat maybe if we could go around and talk about some of the films or movies or songs that helped us get through the roughest times in our lives and what that meant to us, if that's something we're all interested in doing.
I'll start so give other people a chance to get the thoughts going together. So before I got where I am now, one of the big moments in my life, and it involved music, because everything in my life usually involved music somehow, some way. It's just how my life is. One of the big moments though was I don't remember the year, but I went to a Pink concert in Nashville, and it was me and a friend, and I got there, and there were so many people in the community there. And at the time, I knew that I was gay. I knew that I wanted to come out and just be myself, but there was a lot of other things I had to deal with first, like getting the courage, because it takes some courage to really say, this is who I am. This is it right here. To be true to yourself is one of the most, I think, rebellious acts that we can do as a person. And at that concert, it started because Pink and the music and all of us were singing and all of us were dancing. The majority of us were a little tipsy, so it definitely helped the dance moves. But it just got me going, and I saw so much, and I'm like, I'm just gonna be myself. Because if this whole arena, which was packed, sold out show, can be themselves, why shouldn't I? And Pink was just amazing, by the way. I mean, if you have never seen Pink in concert, highly recommend, because they are a ball of energy, and they do that thing in the stadium where they're on the bungee cord thing, and they were going off, and I was like, oh, please come here. There was no way because I had the cheap seats, but it was just an amazing event. And from then on, I think within the month, I started with the person I was married with and just went from there, and everybody knew I was out within 6 months. So anytime I feel bad, I turn on some Pink music and just go from there, because especially with their new album has some really good cuts on it too, that it gets you. You can feel the emotion from them in that. So
I love Pink. Pink, actually, a lot of people don't know this, and they've talked about this, so we're not, outing them or anything. But they deal with borderline personality disorder, which is something that I have dealt with, and so it was nice to, when I went through that awareness and tried to work through that, that Pink was there, because once I learned that, I listened back to some of her work and I was like, wow, so this is why I love this song, because it told the experience of what it was like to deal with love and loss and trauma through the eyes of somebody that deals with BPDs. So I love Pink and everything that she does, especially the song Perfect. Perfect is that's a very meaningful song to me. So
There's too many of her songs. I can't. It depends on the mood.
absolutely. There's the one song I used to listen to. This was the one that I wish somebody in my life had known. I played "Don't Let Me Get Me," and that was the song that when I self-loathed and I just was like I didn't want to be anymore, I would play that song and I would just scream out. I'd be like, I don't want to be dead name. I don't want to be this person. This is who I am. And I would I would I would do the things that Pink has showcased in some of her in some of her videos that were graphic and not really necessary to openly say that I've done. But Pink and I have that. So it is she's helped me through a lot, and actually some of her music. Ironically, when I did that, I would play Pink's Perfect. So it was beautiful but also odd. But she helped me through so much. It was next.
Personally, I have one song, and it's less of a positive, but a little bit. So it's Peyton Cardoza's "Honey and Glass," um, which is "Honey and Glass" is supposed to be a description of a woman who is confident in herself, and how the singer aspires to be like that. And that was a lot of the time how I related myself to my gender dysphoria. But then, like, now looking back, I see that as like my own source of strength, because I can make myself my own girl of honey and glass, apparent essentially.
Hmm, I love that. Cynthia, what about you?
Well, if I'm having a bad day, I'm probably the only one here, but I love watching horror movies. Give me the B-rated horror movies, okay? And I love yelling at the TV because, I mean, here are these people. I'll give you an example. Sci-Fi produced this movie called Grizzly Attacks, okay? Here's the premise behind it. Four teenagers or young 20-some young odd kids go off-roading on these back roads, and they accidentally kill a little baby cub, and mama goes to try to kill him, okay? And one of the I hate to say it, but bimbos was saying, well, we're lost. How do we get back to the main road? And I'm yelling at the TV, bitch, just follow the road you're driving on. I mean, here, 20 minutes in the movie, I am begging for the bear to find and eat these people. Like I said, I love watching these bad rated horror movies so I can yell, I can scream at. I was like, really? You want to hide in the killer's house where he lives? He won't look for you there. Good one. Let's see how that turns out. Oops, you did. Congratulations.
Pony Boy, what kind of music or art or things help you in your journey?
I'm gonna go with a horror movie too, just because it's a recent example. I'm actually pretty finicky about horror. I like any body horror, especially. I'm like, but demons, all that kind of stuff, love it. But when we were in quarantine, lost a really good friend, actually a friend of Moss too. Probably a lot of people know her, Lisa Michaels, and I was having a really, really hard time. And I had seen the movie Midsummer. Anybody?
I know which one you're talking about. Good movie.
Oh yeah.
I watched it prior, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a great movie. And then somebody was talking to me about it and saying that they had interpreted it as a trans narrative. And so they were like, they suggested that I go back and watch it, and just because it could be really cathartic, watching it from that standpoint. And it was something that I didn't know I needed at the time, that I wouldn't have expected that I needed. And I just had this whole like spiritual, emotional experience watching it, and it got me through some times.
Sorry,
Could
I didn't mean
you
to have that play.
could you elaborate on some of the trans narrative parallels? Since we are on the trans narrative podcast, I'm really interested because I'm crunching the numbers of that film and the way that it was written and the way that it unfolds. And I'm interested to hear your perspective.
don't want to, because I think the part that is most obviously related to a lot of people's trans experience would be the very final, really dramatic moment where there is this transformation that requires destruction that happens. I don't want to give it away for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I think that part in particular, it can change from horror to transformation when you take that perspective on it. Which I think is there are a lot of people that just transforming is a really scary thing. It does require killing things off sometimes. It requires destroying pieces that aren't serving us anymore. And that can seem scary, but it can also be incredibly liberating.
Some flowers only bloom after a forest fire.
Exactly.
You know, I have a song actually here in just a second, but Salamander, did you have?
Yes, actually, I love anime. I'm a huge anime fan, and I love cartoons of all forms and fashions. One recently, it really reminded me of my journey of spiritual and queer, transitioning a narrative. Of Everybody should watch it too. It's a really good one. Centaur World. I don't know if anybody's seen it before, but it's all own journey and story. It's basically a horse. It's about a horse who gets um, sent to a world, isekai into a world for centaurs. Everything centaur. You got centaurs, you got horse, lamatars. Everything ends with tar, and it's really a queer. The horses really come from a world full of war. And it's very gray to a world that's everybody should watch it. Where it's very queer. The world is very queer, and it's very loving, and it's very cartoony. And it marks me of my own journey because in the beginning the horse is like, I'm on a mission. I gotta defeat the nowhere king. But on the way, the horse learns about magic and learns about friendship. And it's throughout her journey, she becomes more and more magical and more puppy. It's beautiful. I feel like a lot of cartoons and animation Americas are slowly being shut down because they're very queer and queer oriented, and it's a shame because it's really a beautiful art form. And I was really depressed, during the incident because they ripped my spiritual beads I got from Nigeria and stuff like that. They ripped my beads, and I was really beat up spiritually, and and I watched this show 4 times, and I started again. It helped me heal a little bit. Like I said, that's my main thing. That's why I always been a real otaku all my life because my uncles and my mother was tricky. My uncles were also otaku. They were also big anime nerds, and that's something that's a comfort to me in my time of need. Yeah. Sorry, my voice.
That's beautiful.
Sorry, my voice is very groggy, y'all. Like I said, I'm still very hurt right now. So please excuse me.
Jennifer, what about you?
Jenna.
Oh, I didn't hear who you said. I'm sorry. So, thank you, by the way, Cynthia. There was a movie, when I first decided, I know what's going on with me. I have to do this. This is me. I'm trans. I've always felt like a woman since I was 8 years old. And so when I finally figured it out, I started looking for, Delaney Jane's music was a big influence, just positive, uplifting all the time, listening to Delaney Jane and Dua Lipa. But then there was a movie called Boy Meets Girl. And it's about a trans girl that plays in it, and it's about a trans girl. And I probably watched it about 1,000 times, especially when I first came out, because it was the first actual movie that I had watched that had a trans person in it, and it was about a trans person's life. And I was just sucked into it immediately because I related to so much that was going on. And then the end of it was it had a good ending and a positive ending. And so I just watched it over and over and over. And if I had a bad day, I could come home and put that movie on and watch it and cry or laugh or whatever, and then feel better afterwards. So I guess that's kind of my thing.
All right. Well, I got a question for everybody here, and this I consider this to be a debate issue. So I'll let just give you that little warning. But the question is, KFC or Popeye's chicken?
No
Popeye.
question. Not even a question.
Popeyes. KFC biscuits.
Oh,
KFC biscuits are white on the inside. It's not bright.
you're not gonna
Popeyes
say
biscuits.
Bojangles?
It's got the
No,
honey
no,
biscuits.
Bojangles is a different matter altogether.
That's a debate. Now that is a
Oh,
debate.
no, I don't do Bojangles. The
Why
name
don't
is
you do
weird to me.
Bojangles?
It reminds me of the dancer. And it was like it has too many context beneath the word Bojangles. It's just like wow. Sorry.
On that. I still like Popeyes though, myself.
Yeah, Popeyes biscuits are the best. They're big, they're flat, they're flaky, and they're yellow on the inside because they're actually made with butter.
If someone identifies as a woman, then they are.
No. I don't care if you think you're a sheepdog. It don't matter to me. Just don't come in and try to shove that shit down my throat. I don't give a shit about their feelings.
And investigators are looking into a hate crime after 3 transgender women were attacked and 1 allegedly robbed. The victims say instead of helping them, witnesses mocked them.
You are all child abusers. You prey upon impressionable children and indoctrinate them into your insane ideological cult, a cult which holds many fanatical views, but none so deranged as the idea that boys are girls and girls are boys.
I'm so excited for the day when trans people are no longer the center of attention.
Watch this clip. We'll talk about it on the other side.
There can be no middle way in dealing with transgenderism. It is all or nothing. If transgenderism is true, if men really can become women, then it's true for everybody of all ages. If transgenderism is false, as it is, if men really can't become women, as they cannot, then it's false for everybody too. And if it's false, then we should not indulge it, especially since that indulgence requires taking away the rights and customs of so many people. If it is false, then for the good of society, and especially for the good of the poor people who have fallen prey to this confusion, transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely.
This is excessive force. Yes, it is. 10 of y'all. Hey, what am I being detained for? What am I being arrested for? I have rights. I have rights. I have rights.
This week, a whole new slate of anti-trans bills passed in states across the country. Tennessee and Mississippi both passed bills that ban gender-affirming care for minors. At least 15 more bills attacking trans rights and the rights of lesbian, gay, and bisexual Americans were introduced this week, and 24 more anti-trans bills moved through state legislatures as well. These bills target health care, bathroom access, the ability for trans kids to play sports, ID laws, and same-sex marriage. Now, up until recently, most of the rhetoric coming from conservatives has focused on apparent concern for children, fear that children are rushing into or even being pushed into gender-affirming care. But now, state legislatures are coming for adult health care, too. This week, Oklahoma's House Republicans approved a bill that would prohibit any facility that receives public funds from providing gender-affirming care to anyone of any age. The bill would also block insurance from covering gender-affirming care. A sister bill would make it a felony for any physician in Oklahoma to provide gender-affirming care for anyone younger than 26. Yet another bill in Tennessee would block Medicaid from covering gender-affirming care as well. These bills are an outright attack on the rights of trans Americans, but they also could have terrible physical health consequences as well, as they may force trans people to detransition unsafely if they're unable to access physician care and medication. For more on this, I'm joined by Emmy and Peabody Award-winning journalist Amara Jones. She's founder of Translash Media, chair of the Transgender Law Center, and host of the Translash podcast. Welcome, Amara. So good to see you. So, over the past few weeks, more legislation has been introduced that would prohibit gender-affirming care, as I mentioned, but not only for minors, not just for minors, but for adults as well. A lot of this rhetoric has focused on children. Are you surprised to see this transition to now focusing on adults?
No. As we explored in our other podcast, the Anti-Trans Hate Machine, which is an investigative series, we uncovered the fact that this is now a major pillar of the Republican Party, that so many of the organizations that you know about, Heritage Foundation, the Alliance Defending Freedom, Family Research Council, and so many others have worked for almost a decade to push this issue to the center of the Republican Party. And that's why it's not a surprise that it's being expanded right now. And, you know, even in a Washington Post article about the fact that adults are now a focus of this legislation was quoted, you know, someone from the American Principles Project, and they were the ones who in 2018 focus grouped this particular issue to say that the way into undermining the idea of trans rights in America would be to start with children and then to move on to adults. So sadly, I'm not surprised by any of this, and we're just going to see more.
So, Myra, help us kind of put some focus on what animates a lot of this conversation, a lot of these bills, because these bills involve a lot of fear-mongering and a lot of disinformation about children being allowed to make sudden, impulsive, and irreversible medical decisions about their gender. So help us understand what these narratives are getting wrong about this process and what these children are seeing and understanding about themselves.
Well, Michael, as you know, a key way to undermine rights of people is to engage in an intense campaign of disinformation. And so you're right to target. Let's unpack a lot of what's behind this. You know, the fact is that by the time a trans child has been able to begin to engage in transition, any type of transition services, any equal access to medical care, most of the major, any type of interventions are reserved until after 16 and even after 18. And that's according to guidance from the American Medical Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Psychological Association, the American Endocrine Society. I mean, there are nearly 4 decades of research on the best way for this to happen. And just like in abortion, the fact is that what's happening is that what they want to do is to insert the government in a conversation that is between parents and doctors and therapists and a child. And only when there's a consensus is there a movement towards any type of engagement in these services in the later teenage years at a beginning, and no surgeries until well after that. So, I mean, this is disinformation, and it is disinformation designed to create doubt, and that doubt then it makes way for fear that can be exploited both for religiously ideological and political purposes, and that's what's going on here.
So a lot of people kind of come at this and they may not be as connected into the conversation as many are. And they may see this as something, nothing more than just limitation of bathroom use or just some restrictions for genderqueer kids. Can you speak about the true impact that these bills are having, not just in terms of access to medical care, but the emotional and mental and developmental sides of this conversation that oftentimes gets lost?
So I know that most people don't understand us, but the bottom line is that transness is real. There are 4 decades of research and even longer, ever since recorded history of humankind, we've been recorded where our brains and our bodies are out of alignment. And what happens through a process of self-discovery and a lot of work and then help from others, including medical professionals, if people choose it, that disalignment gets aligned. And so what will happen and what does happen when that process is disrupted by government or legislators who don't understand us is that suicides increase, that self-harm increases, self-marginalization increases, And we know from experience that in addition to the individual self-harm, that this is harming families. What we're doing through these bills is creating political refugees in the United States, where the parents of trans kids all across the country have to determine where and how they can flee to other places in the United States in order to protect their children. That's the impact of these bills. The impact of these bills is highly harmful personally. It is highly harmful on families, and it is highly harmful to the fabric that holds our communities and our society together.
What happened this past week?
So I'm going to have to preface for me and Salamander, we, last Wednesday, we were arrested speaking out against the governor, and we have a court date that's on May 1st. And until then, we're going to need to keep the interior details of our story to ourselves and our attorneys. That's just the way that it's going to be. There will be lots of news as time goes on, but for right now, we're going to have to protect our own truths and our own stories. But what I can tell you is if you want to know about what happened, baby, it's all over the internet. It's all on camera. You can see it, and go out and do your research and make your decisions about what you think about what went down. And that's about all that I can say. What I can say is me and Brandy are in one piece, but we've certainly got emotional scars from it that we're dealing with. And that's what we're working through. I think that, and Sal, if you wanna chime in, I think that right now you and I just need to focus on healing.
Yeah, emotional and physical as well. I'm still very much injured. It's very hard for me to move and have mobility in my arms and how rough they were. So if I sound a little groggy or anything like that, please excuse me. So yeah.
Well, I thank you. I thank you both for being here with us today, especially after this week that we've all had. You're my very close friend, Moth. So when I saw that happen, I never felt that way before because I've seen the attacks on our community, but I've never seen somebody that I personally know and have spent time with being attacked like that. And so it really hit home for me to see that because it just reminded me that we're not safe in this country right now, and it seems that there's nobody here to protect us. Thank God that Memphis has the ACLU on your side, but that they can only do so much. And I'm just grateful that you found the time this weekend to join us after everything that happened, and I'm grateful that everyone here has taken the time this weekend to join us all together. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you for having us. I'm excited to just spend time just hearing all of your beautiful voices. Absolutely. And hearing about, thinking about the bigger story and focusing on, how things connect from the blue sky to the grassroots.
I think for today, I think that we should, in honor of you, Moth, I think that we should go to that blue sky and push our heads to the clouds and just remind us of the joy that life has to offer for each of us, because and especially with me and our co-host, we spend so much time engaging with the news media and the transphobes that it seems that almost becomes what our life is right now, and it's important that we pause and stop and say, whoa, there's more to our lives than just fighting for our humanity. And I think that's what I'd like to do today, is just remind our listeners, the world, and ourselves that we are a part of a human race, and that there's more to us than just having to fight for our survival. So let's go to the blue sky and think happy thoughts. It's hard. It's hard.
I wouldn't have a blue sky to think about if not, because Salamander and I have known each other for a while now, and Sal has really kept me steady through a lot of really, really fucking hard times. And I'm so just, we can't dive deep into it, but Sal, my heart, just know how much I love you and know what a rock you are for me and what a leader you are and what a superstar you are.
You're a star as well, Martha. You're a true artist, and you're a true inspiration to me as well. For real. And like you are, a real inspiration for the rest of the community as well. I don't know if you know. I'm pretty sure you should know these things, but you are a beautiful soul, and I'm sorry. I hate that I hate that we have to go through this, and like I see that it's having a toll on you as well to people I know as well. But yeah, thank you.
We
I
love
love
both
you.
of y'all so much. We do.
We love you, Marty.
You.
So now for the rest of our Memphis friends who are here, this is a circle of people that love the two of us very much. And this is a circle of people that has seen us do some high kicks. Most certainly. But they've also seen what we've gone through, and the circle of friends understands what we're carrying on our shoulders right now.
Oh, yeah, say something. Let the world know that you're angry. You're tired as hell. You're sick of it. We're sick of this. Like, I not only just question people, the politicians at a higher level. We also need to get on the politicians, but here on the local level as well. You got people who claim to be with us and claim to be allies, but literally go silent when we need like ordinances passed or a thing like that. Because like, I'm gonna bring something up. Just recently, I was assaulted by a Shelby County deputy on the 23rd of January. This happened like 1 month in between the incident that happened on the 1st. And like he literally followed me into the stall. He followed me into the bathroom, followed me into the stall, and refused to let me close the stall. And like he made me urinate on myself. And it happened right inside the county commission building. And you got everybody who said they want to do something for me. They want to like apologize and all these things. But in reality, if you want to do something, sign an ordinance to help protect my rights and protect my dignity. And when I actually wrote something up that was feasible and plausible, similar to ordinances they just passed recently, they go silent on me. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people, hey, email the county commissioners, hey, pass their ordinance. We need this. Like we need something to protect us, and like fight against this. These officers that like doing damage to us and stuff like that. So like, yeah, we need everybody. Like I said, before any of this, I was a bartender. I was a bartender for 10 years. And like, when the pandemic happened and like they weren't doing anything for it, they literally left us all here to like be unalive. Like they literally left us out here alone. And I just got sick of it. And like, I feel like during my little struggle for the past 3 years, I've made some strides that some further strides than people who've been doing activism for like decades or, activism or whatever. And like, if we all got together, you may think your viewership levels may be low, but if all your viewers got together and say the same thing, got tired of this, know who their local leaders are, know who write their laws, their ordinances, their codes, their little matrix of the world of pain and misery. Yeah, and like literally, we can all come together and make some major changes, like right now. So like, we need everyone. Like, I know things are like very depressed, and everybody wants to sit and stare in the void. I get it. I understand. Me personally, I eat the void myself. I eat it. Like, but if we all came together and do one little thing or get one thing passed, we can make the world change, especially here in Memphis. Like, for real, I believe that. Like, we're all notes to a larger choir of harmony, and like, we need every note. We need everyone. There is no solo. There is no big faces. There is no just one singular person. You know what I'm saying? So because like, we can do it. I believe we can do it. For sure. Yeah.
We need to remember as a community too, there have been people before us.
Yeah.
And like one of my examples, because when I first came out, I was like, I got to go learn about my community. So, and I'm a history major. I can't help it. So I go back and I look at it, and like one guy that popped out to me was a gay Danish guy. I'm gonna butcher his name because it's Danish, but it's like William Ardanis. And before he died, he told his I have it pulled up to make sure I got it right. He told his lawyer to say one thing when he died. He said, tell them, and he said, tell them this, let it be known, homosexuals are not cowards. That's what I take with me when I think of things. And what he did was he would go and destroy records of Jewish people so the Nazis couldn't get them. One man saved hundreds of thousands of lives. And he was always, and he was very proud to say he was gay. And that's what we have to remember. It takes one person to do a lot.
Right. Absolutely. I think. You know what we should do? All of us, we should, our protests should be going into the parking lots of Chick-fil-A. And so, like, what you need to do in Memphis is get like 500 LGBTQ plus members together on a Saturday, on a Monday or something, or a Saturday, because that's the busy day, and to go to the Chick-fil-A drive-through and just fill it up. And every person that comes through, it's like, yes, I'd like to order this. And then they get to the window and it's like, oh, shoot, I didn't bring my wallet. I'm sorry. And then the next person comes through and it's like, shoot, I'm sorry, I didn't bring my wallet either. And then after like 100 people, they're gonna have to stop operation. They're gonna be like, why is every person coming through without money? And then like they lose their profit for that day. I think that's something we should do.
You're reading my mind, honey. Yes, baby. Yes. Snap, snap, snap.
I'm just seeing all the Karens behind us just pissed.
More
chicken.
That's what I need. My bigot
Bigot burger.
My bigot burger. Hi,
My
y'all.
bigot
Welcome to
burger.
Bigot Burger.
Oh my God. You know, I went to culinary school. I loved the food industry. I thought it was the coolest thing. And I've learned so much about it. It's one of the useless facts that I have in my life. It's all about the food industry.
I would love to know a plethora of those useless facts, but y'all, I have a fever and I'm really feeling terrible.
Well, we're about to hop off here.
If we could
get some rest,
do our
please.
outros and
yeah, we're gonna
I think
wrap
I'm ready
up
to
now.
lay down.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. So we're gonna head to so I'm gonna message everyone about recurring coming back on the show at a different time because today was very lighthearted. So I think it's important that throughout the weeks. So hopefully within this month, some of us, Salamander, if you could come on this month, I'd love for you to meet Lucy. And then we're starting to do 2 shows a week, so that's a whole lot more to do. But
you say May 6th?
Yes, that's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Well, thank you. That's in May. I can't wait. So that'll be Tia Mirage, and I think you'd be great to be on there with us as well. So, okay. So there's no point in doing intros or outros. Not all of us are here. So I'm just so thankful that everyone was here today. Mar, thanks for being here with us today.
Anytime.
Cynthia,
Mar's
thanks for joining.
Natural at the podcast.
Yeah.
Mar is
I really
really
like-
natural.
Yeah, Mar, I really think that like you're gonna be on more. So you know that, right?
I'll see you April 1st. And Moth, I'll make sure you get a big tip later.
Oh,
Wait, hold on. What was it?
You know, I'm always
Wait,
looking for a tip.
Hold on, that's our panel episode. Oh, good. That's our panel episode. I did pick you that because you're admissions director, so I thought it'd be great to perfect. Oh wow, well, look at me. I forget the things I do. Okay. So Tony Boy, thanks so much for being here with us today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Salamander Brandy, thank you so much for being with us here today, and I can't wait to hear from you more.
Of course, solidarity. Got to practice that solidarity.
Solidarity. I love it.
Solidarity.
The Solidarity
That's right.
podcast. I like that. I've been thinking, if you're interested, Tony Boy, if you're interested in making something, or anybody making their own type of podcast or something that they'd like to do, I'm definitely able to remotely help with that. I'm not in Memphis, obviously, but I can help 700 miles away if you need it.
He's still part of the family.
Oh, thank you. So I'm definitely wanting to once the hay settles down to kind of branch out and to make some other things that are representative, like who I am or who we are as people, and not so much about activism. So I think that's important. So maybe a food podcast. I think that would be fun.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I know a lot about food for some reason, so I studied it. I was in culinary school and they gave me a project about the apple pie, and so then I was like, you know what? If I'm going to learn about the apple pie, I need to go back to the dawn of pie. So I went back like 4,000 years and I learned about fucking why they made pie in the first place, which was so that they could take the carcasses of the meat of the animals that they kill in the winter and they would put them into a pie thing and then they would enclose it with yeast, which would keep the meat protected. And so the original pie was actually designed to keep meat preserved.
Gross. Super gross.
Also, why fried chicken was invented.
Really?
Keep it. Yeah, you could cook it and you could keep it for a while.
Oh my
I didn't know
God.
that. That's not shocking.
Oh my God. I'm so excited now.
It's in the
How many
grease,
more-
baby. It's all in the grease.
There's so much to talk about to all of us. So I'm going to message everyone directly. And if you don't like messages a lot, make sure you put me on mute like Moth did. I'm sure. No, I'm kidding.
Baby, I put everybody on mute.
That's okay. Me too.
I come out of the cave when I'm ready to speak.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, it's been so much fun. Thanks for being here with us. And we'll arrange a new time for us to get together individually for each of you to showcase yourselves on the show. So thank you,
for having us.
everyone.
Thank
you,
you.
Mom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Everyone, take care. Okay. Be safe.
Yeah, everybody go eat a snack. I'm gonna go lay down. Bye,
Please
babe.
do.